Stanford University wants to get rid of harmful language. It published a list of offensive words, including American and Karen. People are mocking it, and Stanford's now backtracking. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Looking for love in the new year? Then I recommend you check out this very important video on our new channel, Gamers Unbeaten, How I Found and Lost Love in Minecraft. We gotta get around YouTube demonetization somehow. Speaking of things that are deeply problematic, Stanford University. It prides itself on being one of the world's leading research universities, but it wants to make sure that the best and brightest of all backgrounds feel safe on campus. Back in 2020, the Stanford CIO Council and people of color and technology pledged to support transformative measures to increase representation and opportunities across the Stanford IT community for people of color. Then in February this year, they announced a website containing various potentially harmful terms individuals may use in their everyday language, an explanation of why the terms are harmful, and suggested alternatives. So, people of color at Stanford were told they would receive more opportunities and instead got a list of offensive terms. This is like expecting to get a mountain bike for Christmas, but instead you get a list of offensive terms. This is a multi-phase, multi-year project known as the Elimination of Harmful Language Initiative. The initiative website has been up since May, and it shows alternatives to offensive and harmful English phrases that are ableist, ageist, colonialist, culturally appropriative, gender-based, institutionally racist, violent, and more. Sadly, it doesn't also include words that are seemingly harmless but still somehow deeply upsetting, like moist, moist, moist. For example, according to Stanford's Elimination of Harmful Language Initiative, people trivialize experiences if they use terms like addicted, insane, or even walk-in, as in going into walk-in office hours without an appointment. Because how dare you say walk-in when not everyone can walk? Why aren't you more sensitive? Are you insane or addicted to crack or something? Stanford's also big on pronouns. He or she are a no-go unless you know for sure that's their preferred pronouns. Sorry, I mean pronouns. Saying preferred is too problematic. Which I get. Because when it comes to super salad, salad isn't my preference, it's my need. Soup is just savory tea. The only people who enjoy it are the old and the sick. Sorry, the advanced in age or the currently physically unwell. Speaking of gender, any word with man in it, like mankind, man-made, manpower, or even man-hours, just reinforced male-dominated language. I wonder how many effort hours it took Stanford to come up with all this. And does this mean instead of manicure, you have to call it personicure? Anything with the words black and white are also too controversial because clearly they're racially biased against black people. This includes phrases like black box, black lists and white lists, and white space. Don't blacklist something, deny list it. Everyone will definitely know what you're talking about. I guess that means black and white cookies are off the menu. What you see as a dessert, they see as oppression. Delicious, delicious oppression. Anything remotely violent, like beating a dead horse, killing two birds with one stone, and killing it, is problematic as well. Guess that means Slay Queen is not aligned with Stanford's values. Even Karen is too offensive, so consider using demanding or entitled white woman. The irony here, of course, is that this definitely sounds like it was suggested by a Karen. Stanford also suggested replacing the word American with U.S. citizen, since not all people living in the Americas are in the U.S. They also argue that calling someone from the U.S. American implies the U.S. is the most important country out of all 42 countries in North and South America, leading most Americans, U.S. citizens, to respond, "Where's the lie?" Congrats on the World Cup win, Argentina, but if you want to get on the U.S.'s level, try winning 2 world wars. and not having a history of harboring Nazis. Unless you use them for your space program, of course. Some of the alternatives that Stanford is providing are honestly just too much of a mouthful to say. This is all an example of what's called person-first language, in which all adjectives are bad. As you might expect, Stanford got a lot of backlash, which might also be an offensive term due to reminding people about slavery. I'll tell you more after the break. Welcome back. Stanford wants to eliminate language that it deems too harmful and offensive. This grabbed the public's attention after the Wall Street Journal shared Stanford's list of forbidden words. Conservative news outlets picked up on the story, and I mean really picked up on the story. Because liberal institutions calling language offensive is like chum for conservative news outlets. They're complaining about pronouns, nom 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 nom. And now Stanford's harmful language initiative is getting pushback, especially for putting the word American on the blacklist. Deny list.
Vietnam veteran Louis Agrant Sr. of San Jose says he's stunned to hear Stanford put American on a harmful language list.
When you go to war and you're out there in the battlefield and you're not thinking about being a U.S. citizen, you're thinking about what you are in your heart, and we're all Americans, and we should be proud of that.
U.S. citizen, what is that? Doesn't mean anything to me. I'm an American through and through.
I became an American citizen. I'm an American, and I don't have any negative meaning associated with that word. So I feel like I could use it freely.
Actually, pushback is putting it lightly. Stanford's being mocked for sheer insanity. Sheer wildness. And is being accused of language castration. Language reassignment surgery. Some are poking fun at Stanford with their own lexicons, and have criticized Stanford while also trying to use as many of their own offensive words as possible. Now, who'd resort to doing something like that? Even Stanford's student-run conservative publication took a stab at criticizing the university and compared its Harms Language initiative to 1984's Big Brother Newspeak, or maybe now we should call them Sizable Sibling. I know. I had no idea there were conservative students at Stanford either. Stanford University has since walked back its initiative, which is super ableist since not everyone can walk. It now hides its list of harmful language behind a secure login, although the document's still accessible through the Wall Street Journal. It's almost as if Stanford didn't have the guts to defend its list of prohibited words. Stanford came out with an update saying the website doesn't represent university policy. It also does not represent mandates or requirements, and that the website was intended for internal discussion within Stanford's IT community. Then why did they make it public in the first place? Also, in one of the original announcements about this website, Stanford linked it to a larger initiative to create a university-wide style guide. Whatever the case may be, Stanford said that it heard and appreciates concerns about the guide's treatment of the term American. It clarified that American is not banned at Stanford, but is absolutely welcomed. Oh, wow, absolutely welcome. Then why was it on a list of offensive and harmful words? Does that mean they absolutely welcome all other offensive and harmful words, like moist? Moist. Stanford tries to explain the inclusion of American on the list by saying it just wanted to provide a perspective on how U.S. citizen may be more precise and appropriate than American. But it clearly missed the mark in this presentation. Wait, missed the mark? Isn't that violent language? Stanford isn't the only university that has tried to change speech. California Polytechnic State University has also tried to suggest alternatives to gendered vocabulary and ableist language. So has Brandeis University. Considering this is what universities are devoting resources to, I think the actual most offensive term used on college campuses is tuition. Specifically, how they think it's okay to charge this much for it. So what do you think about Stanford's elimination of harmful language? Leave your comments below. And if you like the show, remember that we rely mainly on direct support from viewers like you. All it takes is as little as $1 per episode over on our crowdfunding website, Patreon. Visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered for more. Click the link below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching U.S. Citizen Uncovered.